All right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be discussing, in my opinion, the best way to do county research. So if you guys are struggling, if you're just starting out, you guys aren't really familiar with how to do market research, this is going to be a great video for you guys to watch. I'm going to get you guys set up in how I find counties that I actually qualify to get pushed to be marketed to. So without further ado, I am on the land portal. The land portal is going to be the best land software by far. And right here, you can click on this market research tab and it'll bring up an entire heat map of the United States. Okay. And so we can look at for sale, sold, the time frame we want to look at. We want to stick to land because we like land. And then you can choose acreages, right? And then you have all these stats that you can go through. And basically what we are looking for here is we are looking to get filters up that are going to correlate with exactly what we plan to market. So if you guys typically follow my lower ticket model, this video really isn't for you. I don't use this for my lower ticket model. This model of market research that I'm about to show you guys is better for more medium to higher ticket flips. So anything that's $20,000 plus. Okay. And so let's just start at 2 to 5 acres. It's a very common starting spot for beginners, and we can go through this entire list here. One very common misconception that I see people doing is I see a lot of people only choose the counties that they want to do business in based off of sell-through rate or absorption rate, okay? So these two things, and you can go read what this is, right? But basically, the big misconception here is that if you have a county that's red in sell-through rate or red in absorption rate, your property is going to sit on the market forever. Okay, and that's not necessarily true. So Texas is a very popular area for people to do business in, and so is Florida. Okay, now Texas, it's almost all red, right? Like it looks horrible. If I just look at sell-through rate, and Florida is not bad, but it's not super hot like everyone says. So it can be a little bit misleading here. Okay, so the reason that sell-through rates can look different on this heat map is because not everything that is listed will ever sell, because a lot of things are priced poorly, right? So as you can see, the formula is sold parcels divided by parcels listed for sale times 100. Okay, and so what happens, let's just go like right here, this is red. Okay, 45% sell-through rate, it's considered really bad. Here, let's actually do this one, 18% sell-through rate. This would be horrible. Okay, that means that like almost none of the parcels are selling compared to what's for sale. But what if everything is just extremely mispriced? What if things sell quickly if you just price it correctly? Now, that is the question that I asked myself when I first started. And asking myself that question was the best thing I ever did, because I stopped looking at sell-through rate and I started looking at days on market. So days on market is the median number of days a land parcel stayed listed before being sold. Now, here's the thing. Parcels that contribute to the days on market statistic here need to have been actually sold. So what I'm looking at now is I'm looking at a lot more green, because what you will find is that if a parcel is priced well in Glacier County, Montana, the median time it will sell is 52 days, which is very fast. Okay. Now, if you go here, sell-through rate is 100%, but if the average days on market is 279, that means it is a very slow moving market, even when things are probably priced well because it actually sold. So that is one of the biggest misconceptions I see in the land space, and I understand why people think that. But I do a lot of business in places where sell-through rates are very low, but I can still sell land pretty quickly just because I price it better than everyone else. By the way, if you are enjoying my little bit of a controversial analysis and you want to support the channel and you don't have Land Portal yet, I have my referral link in the description. I get a small chunk of change when you guys sign up using my link, so I would really appreciate it. All right, back to the video. And so with that being said, if you look at Texas now and Florida now, Florida looks way better now. Texas looks a little bit better, right? But that's why, like, if you guys are just choosing states where the days on market is lower, you're going to have faster sell times, because as a land investor, you are going to price things correctly and you're going to price it to sell. And so typically I like counties where my days on market is going to be lower than 100. Okay. So the only time I really like disregard sell-through rate is if it's below like 40%, I kind of don't like that. But I'd have to look into it, right? So like, let me try and find an example of a really fast market where the sell-through rate's really low. I feel like most of the time, okay, so we're at 45 here, 110 days on market, but that's not super quick. Okay, 12% sell-through rate, but it's 85 days. Now, this county, like, that's a really low sell-through rate. I'd probably look into it a little bit more to see how much data is actually on there. It's a smaller county, this one as well. So it's like, I might want to see what's going on. Maybe there's not that much data and the data's kind of like messing up the results. So it's always good to take a deeper dive. Like we can click on this county actually. We'll choose this one. Lower days on market, lower sell-through rate. It's a horrible sell-through rate. So if I go to the table view here, what I can do at this point is I can go to counts, right? So this is the total number of parcels sold in the selected time period right there. That's what I really like about Land Portal too. Everything has this little information, so it's like it's easy to understand. And then if we go here, in 12 months, only 11 things have sold. So that's why, so there's a really limited amount of properties that have been sold, which is why maybe the data is just a little bit skewed. Okay, typically I want more than 11. Typically I want closer to like 15, and I most of the time like them to be spread out a little bit. Kind of like this is spread out, but I would like, maybe if there was like 3 and 3 in here, I'd feel a lot more confident in this county. Now, again, this county is smaller, so it kind of makes sense that there's not as much data. But, typically I just like seeing a little bit more than that, especially if I'm targeting like a 2 to 5 and there's only one comp in the past 12 months. It's not my favorite county, right? And so that's something to take into account. Like, I probably wouldn't like this county, even though it reflects a very quick days on market. All right, guys, so now that we're back on this page, I challenge you guys to test my theory a little bit here. If we go on a sell-through rate statistic, and we can just go through like something that's red, right? So let's go to, I want to find something with a very low sell-through rate where things are selling kind of quickly. A good example is going to be probably here. Let me find a good county. All right, guys. So if we went into Wood County, for example, this isn't like super, super red. It's 64%, which is not that great though for sell-through rate. If you guys just go on Redfin and look at the 2 to 5 acres, if you guys look at the properties that have actually sold recently, you'll see that most of them sell actually relatively quickly. And that you'll start to notice a little bit of a trend where everything that is for sale might just be for sale because it's priced poorly. So that's kind of the main thing that I want you guys to take away from this video. There's a lot of other things we can talk about as well, like price per acre. Like if you're searching for rural properties, typically like you can notice right away that Teton County, Wyoming, median price per acre, $624,000. So you probably don't want to buy here. It's probably a major city, right? And I know the same thing for like Nevada, right? Like if you're in, it's Nevada, like Clark County, this is where Las Vegas is, right? Like you don't want to buy here, $354,000. You can identify very quickly if you're near a major city, like over here. This is where the capital of Nevada is. It's in one of these counties. Carson City, right? Price breakers are super high because there's a major city. And then you kind of realize that like once you get away from the major city, it's not super expensive because it's rural. So like you'd want to be over here, right? Given, the days on market checks out and everything looks good. But yeah, so that's just something to take in to account when you guys are doing market research, on top of what we explained earlier with the days on market, all that good stuff. Typically, you're going to see almost like a bleed out effect. Like right here, you have Atlanta, and the median price per acre goes down as you go away from Atlanta. And so you just don't want to be in super expensive areas. And so that's pretty much it, guys. Just wrapping up my thoughts. That's how I personally go about using the land portal heat map. Most of the time, I don't take into account sell-through rate or absorption rate that much. It's a very controversial take. A lot of people, in my opinion, that maybe aren't as educated will say that sell-through rate's like the number one most important thing ever. And I think that they're very wrong. Like sometimes it has correlation, like right here, Carbon County, Wyoming, 1000% sell-through rate, 87 days on market. Like it can have correlation, but like right here, what's going on here? 250% sell-through rate, but the days on market 600. Like sometimes it's correlated, sometimes it's not. But it's just important to maybe try out both strategies, see what you like more, and then kind of just go from there. Like I've personally done business in counties where the sell-through rate's like 60% and sold things very, very quickly just because it's priced well. So with that being said, guys, if you like the video, make sure you like the video. If you have questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I answer all my DMs. Comment your questions as well. I can answer them in the comments. And subscribe for more tips and advice that I actually use in my own land investing business. Peace out, guys.